Good evening, everyone. Seth here, and this is a Fiddlesticks run day. Woo! I am recording this as a post commentary because I did record commentary for this video, but as it turns out, I'm pretty stupid and I forgot to unmute my microphone. So, not the first reaction to the adventure. But let's say it's like a second-hand one. And also this video was supposed to go up yesterday, but you know, I'm bad at timing. Anyways, we'll be playing new Evelynn on 4 stars. The unlocks were 200 gold and the Beagle Dust. And we also will be using a new relic. So the Siren Call, or I think it was Siren Call. And also do the Disciple of Shadows setup. And yeah, this is basically my first attempt. I'm just looking at like what's happening. Yeah, so there are one main mid boss and Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks shuffles a bunch of cards into your deck as nightmares, including Fiddlesticks as well, which is a pretty interesting boss fight. And we have a list that shuffles Spiderlings into your deck, and yeah. Here I decide to roll for a better power, but I get just Hold It. Hold It I think is also pretty decent in this encounter, and I kinda recommend it. However, as you might see later, it's not like the best keyword, especially when you're like on the opener here. Yeah, Siren Song has been new addition, as well as Ceaseless Sentry. High Spike got some different items, and I think there were some item changes to Dvora and Sultur, yeah. So Sultur now draws an extra card, rather than just giving you... I think it was like +1/+1 before. And Dvora now has the +2/+2 and Overwhelm. I think she had it before, but I don't remember exactly, so... And yeah, the new relic makes your husks be able to attack and block, which surprisingly comes up quite often in this. Yeah, it's Siren's Call. I remembered correctly, wow! And yeah, I'm using Disciples of Shadow here mostly because I want the cheaper Evelynn and get like the level up effect sooner, so yeah. Now Evelynn has a little bit of built-in scaling, which is a really great thing for her, obviously. Because before you had like a total of 2 level ups, something around those lines. With Evelynn, like to a total of 3. I think 3 was more often than not, like the standard number. And now with the Siren's Call that's in the deck, it's really nice to just have an option to do things. Yeah, and Domination also had an item changed. Yeah, the Domination had an item changed. It was Phage, so the +2/+2, and now it's the +2 health. And Vora now got the +2/+2 instead. Also, husk stacking is really good right now. So yeah, 3 level ups, a pretty solid chunk of like having just basically 3 6/6s or even higher is just so good for new Evelynn. And I was kinda like surprised a little bit on like the quality of upgrades during this run, because this was basically my I wouldn't say like technically first time, this was basically my first time playing Evelynn with Siren's Call, but I did do an adventure beforehand just to like see how the deck changes maybe impact the deck building process a little bit, something along those lines. And yeah, it was, I think, a pretty decent upgrade. Evelynn always was a pretty decent champion to do like challenges with, so that's really nice. And besides that, yeah, I don't really like any of the pickups here, so I think I just reroll. I'll grab the Darkin Harp because Darkin Harp is like at least playable, so that's that. Support champions, I'm mostly looking for something that can level up multiple times, and that's not really what you can see here. And I think I end up rolling for a Nidalee. Yeah. I just pick up Nidalee here. Bristlehog also is pretty good card early. We have two new modes, Vicious Mockery, which glooms things, and Shadow in the Brush, which buffs up the summoned units. And what's pretty fun about this adventure on its own, because that's what I noticed during like the playing, is that every node has like some sort of fear associated with it. So Vicious Mockery is obviously about people laughing on you, laughing of you. Okay, English good, yes. Anyways, Mockery, yeah. And the other node is basically like the fear of the unknown. And there are a few more fears, some of which you will have to fight to get through this adventure, so that's a really good flavor, not gonna lie. Like flavor-wise, I've been genuinely enjoying this adventure. I think it's a bit poorly balanced for a 3.5 star, but that's like not a big deal, I'd say. And yeah, Beagle Dust actually is a pretty decent power for Evelynn's 4-star. Not gonna lie, it's been like pretty useful. The only thing I'm kinda sad about is that they didn't like what's the name of it? Oh, also this adventure is pretty annoying as Evelynn, because when you're level 1, basically anything they draw or play just makes your things smaller, so until you manage to level up Evelynn, it's gonna be a bit awkward here. But it's not all bad, I guess. Another thing here is that, yeah, as I said, like, this is obviously post-commentary, so I don't have like the exact thoughts that I had during this playthrough. But I feel like this adventure is kind of weirdly balanced, in which some modes are really fun, they are like really interesting, they have a bunch of cool ideas. And some of the modes, like Fiddlesticks for example, can just melee your entire deck on your first turn if you're playing certain champions, which is like, okay, that's not fun or good. And it's kinda actually it's pretty hard there. Like if they hit like some good units from Terrify, it's just, I wouldn't say it's over, but it's like really hard to win from that point. So Fiddlesticks node is like pretty difficult, not gonna lie. I feel like for a 3.5 star I think they should just change the power from cards added to your hand to just draw, like cards you drew this turn, because this way it would actually make like, maybe it would make it easier, but at the same time it still would be like pretty dangerous to go for like all out draws and all out draw decks, which is fun because like, yeah, doing adventures and having to build your deck around them is always fun, but you know, when Fiddlesticks can just counter you just because you have like a bunch of cards that draw or generate something and you have them from like the very beginning, then it's kinda annoying, I would say. That's like maybe the best way to put it. As for the nodes themselves, so the first one was using darkness when enemies attack, they had a bunch of darkness cards, you know, generating them or putting them or like buffing them. I think that's cool. There was a similar version of this node before and it was okay, so I'm gonna say it is pretty decent. Yeah, now we have the Dread, which is kill enemies, kill all allies with 0 power, and round start they get a list to hand. I go for gold and for this node, because the list I've considered maybe should be easier. I also changed my skin for whatever reason here. Well, I have this thing where I like every now and then I'll just like go to my loadout and be like, yes, maybe let's change the skin at that point. That's kind of matter. That's kind of like this. And this is Fear of the Ocean, and it also apparently has like short tooths in the deck, so that's cool. Totally didn't just, you know, it's a very aggro fight, because they have a bunch of ways of like, yeah, generating those small but highly offensive units here. And also they have, I think, some bigger lurkers. At least that's what I've noticed from the draws. So that's also something that you have to like note. And also AI on 3.5 stars tends to kind of play poorly, because they, for example, they don't use the list right now. I'm guessing they prefer it if you had like smaller units, so then they would do this. But again, short tooths, so they can just keep generating them quite a bit. And you know, this is an adventure where you will take a bunch of damage. So the best way to like deal with this is mostly like having some healing or having regen between rounds. Yeah, that's basically like. And yeah, the list also helps with like breaking your spell shields, so that's something also worth remembering. This is a little bit of a misplay, but it's fine. I think I still have like one more level up here, so yeah. Not the worst. Nothing like that bad, so. Get an ambush, play some units, trigger more level ups. I was thinking about playing like a 1-cost versus playing the Ceaseless Sentry, but I've decided that Ceaseless Sentry should be better, because now it just gives you larger stats that you can trade. And yeah, basically this is like the trading adventure where you want to control a little bit. At least this node is. Because some of the other adventures are, some of the other nodes are either more controlling or less controlling. Especially one that I will talk about later, which is Freefall. And yeah, while we are here on this topic, in general I think they did a, like again as I was saying, they did a decent job balancing this, except Fiddlesticks on 3.5 star. It feels like it's more of a 4.5 actually than a 3. But the rewards for this node are also pretty decent, and the rewards for the Nightmare are really good as well. So that's also something worth like taking into account when playing. So this has the Star Vessels, so that's good. And the... what was the other one? And the Nightmare version has 40 Fiddlesticks fragments, and I think some other rewards after that, so that's something I wanna play a little bit more later down the line. And yeah, for the next video I'll probably also cover the other nightmares that have been introduced. So it was Viego and Fizz. Fizz is apparently the easiest, while Viego is like decently difficult. 6.5 star Fiddlesticks is actually pretty decently, I wouldn't say easy per se, but it's decently balanced for a 6.5 star, I think. I didn't have like that many issues with it, so I grab Raiding Party here, even though I realize later down the line that this power is kinda useless. And I don't really buy anything, although I was considering some of those picks there. And you know, seeing that Fiddlesticks has Terrify, I kinda don't wanna cut anything from the deck. Yeah, as I showcased, because you'd rather like have garbage in your deck and like hope that it gets terrified than like doing than like losing your important cards in the deck. And also funny thing is that yeah, if you buff up your cards here, at least like you might buff up the Spiderlings, that's at least shuffles into your deck, so a little bit of a misplay from my side, but it's whatever. Yeah, as you can see, Spiderlings tend to show up quite often here. And yeah, I've noticed again, Elise is a pretty aggro fight, I would say. So you kinda want to set up as soon as possible or control the fight as quickly as possible. Either through board clears or stuff like that, because again, they have a bunch of cheap units that are either drawn from your deck or the enemy deck, which is pretty interesting to deal with. And leveling up, at least I couldn't really stop it either ways, but leveled up Elise doesn't really do much here, I would say. It's not like that big of a deal, personally. Oh, and if they can't like play the Spiderling, they get it to the hand, which is the same as Nightmares. It's basically a similar technology, I'd say. Although Nightmares are bugged, so I don't know. Also, Elise surprisingly sacrifices herself for whatever reason. And yeah, we can take a little less damage by using Hate Spike. I was considering either taking less damage or dealing with the 5/7 here. But I think in the end I decided to just take less damage. Even though I get healed after this fight, it like killing more of the units is not a bad deal. And you know, generating more husks, always cool. I don't know if I get to use the Siren's Call here, but still, having husks with ability to attack is actually so huge, so personally I really like the relic. It's really fun. Also, Vora has more stats than Nidalee, so I just decided to play her. And you know, larger husks, level ups, stuff like that. It does put me at 6, so I'm back to having this. They have a Frenzied Skitterer, it doesn't really help much. I'm considering also attacking with the Husk, but they have a bit larger stats than I'd like, so just do a little bit of trading. They play the Spiderling and, you know, that's how it goes. They draw a buffed up Spiderling. Yeah, that's what I was talking about when, like, yeah, these can just get buffed greatly. Here I decide to deny the draw. I don't think it's worth like letting the AI draw anything else, because they might draw more units, they might draw like stuff that kills me, and I'd rather set up a lethal sooner than later. So play Sultur, play more husks, generate more stuff. There is the Siren Song. Yeah, the upside of Siren Song is, again, you can buff a bunch of your cards, and it also summons a Husk, which is also a big deal, because with the Siren's Call, the relic, you get an extra blocker that's also large, and all of your other cards are also large, which is pretty good, I'm gonna say. I was considering playing Crocolisk here, but I remembered I need to kill 2 allies and not 1, which makes this card kinda annoying. But I think this is lethal right now. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's 28. So, not a bad run in general. I think the Elise node is pretty fun, I'm gonna say. That's like the most interesting, like it's one of the more interesting fights here. And the Nightmare version is also pretty fun, so I'll showcase that later down the line. Here I decide on the fleeting and anti, because 1, I can set up a level 1 Evelynn, either through either like playing Sultur or playing Evelynn herself and like getting value out of this. I don't really like any of these values. Rush them down could be decent, but I decide to roll and I get Explosive Entrance, which is a fantastic one. Survive the night. So this node, yeah, takes 10 damage and rallies, and you cannot damage it in any ways. Apparently you can, it is bugged, but I don't showcase this here. And also there is a Slay one. I think I go for Survive the Night because I'm thinking like, okay, Evelynn should be good enough on dealing with this node. There is apparently... like the thing is that this node can apparently get an infinite amount of revives. So if you're playing a control deck, this can end up... If you like playing certain specific versions of control, this deck can end up being an absolute awfulness to play against, from what I've heard, so that's also worth remembering. They have Blighted Battle Axe, which is a pretty funny item. But yeah, in general, having access to like your husks also dealing extra damage. In general, the deal 1 when you summon something is great for nodes other than this, basically. And yeah, you can trade your husks. It's all okay. This is like 4 right now. So now that they take 10 damage, their things get stunned, and you can attack, but you don't really need to. And yeah, Darkwater Scourge is probably the biggest issue of the enemy deck. I feel like if they removed Scourge and instead put like a Crocolisk with like -2 cost, it would be better. Because that means you would actually be able to survive the fight without them resulting to like weird damaging crap. Because again, if you don't kill them, it's pretty annoying. And yeah, you can attack them. They just won't take any damage, which is cool. Apparently, from what I've seen like floating on the internets, you can still damage them with the item that with the Pyromanting Quake, but I don't know if that's true or not. I just seen reports of people getting that, so I'm not sure. I play Nidalee here, even though it like doesn't really matter. What I do, it's just like 2 more turns, anyways. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting encounter that can sometimes just like, you can still lose it due to RNG if you don't have like stuns or silences or frostbites. Yeah, in general it can be pretty annoying. And yeah, last round basically, unless they heal up. Also yeah, Evelynn can just get like such large stats right now. And summoning husks without immobile is also so fantastic. To just get extra value on board, have blockers early, or have like level up values, get like massive amounts of stats in general. So yeah, I've been pretty enjoying this one as well. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, basically the turn starts and they die. I couldn't speed up animations here, the game wouldn't let me. Oh yeah, and this patch they also added double animation speed. And I've been thinking about using it in my videos, but I'm like, not really. I'm not quite sure I wanna do this. Because, again, people have said that they are a bit sick after watching even 2 times speed. I've also seen like people play on 4 times speed and say they're okay. I decided that I will just do this like in the standard way. And yeah, this is the node, Sickening Plunge. Freefall at the end of turn 7, deal 77 damage to player Nexus. And Creeping Hatred, round start, if they have the attack token, they get the Snap Vine. Kinda sad I wasn't able to get the other node. I think I could have managed to get this quicker. But yeah. Instead we're gonna deal with a bunch of shrubbery today, so that's the plan, I guess. I've been also considering maybe playing the Evelynn relic in Aurelion Sol. That was a consideration that I had for a second. Because you kinda don't care about husks not having immobile, but you do get a generated card that's a champion, which means that any discounts will make it cheaper and it will further discount your other champions as well. So that's something I may wanna experiment with sometime in the future. But in general, that's pretty interesting idea. And yeah, I really like that the nodes that they did are like thematic. For example, this node basically has every card that's like grass or tree bark or stuff like that. Basically being surrounded by a forest that hates you, which is pretty interesting. And also it has a bunch of synergies, as you can see. Summoning the 1/1s, you know how it is. And yeah, explosive entrance putting in work, so that's that. One thing I do want to talk about is that Fiddlesticks as playable character is pretty buggy. I did mention it in like my first video, but I also want to mention it in this video. Also, hi Vora, that's good stats you got there. Just your casual like 31, 30 for nothing. That also deals damage on entering. But yeah, explosive entrance and raiding party, amazing combo. Also get another overwhelm unit with challenger, because why not? And that's little basically. But yeah, in general this has been like really decent, really cool like setup for Evelynn. After I get level like 29 or 30 when I get the rare slot, I'll probably just put the rally on there. Either rally or the stun, kind of depends on what adventure I would be doing. And then the next 2 nodes are basically like event nodes, so that's cool. I grab Malediction because the rest kinda doesn't really help me at all. Maybe the Prowl, but I wasn't really happy with this. I decide to not cut anything because that Terrify power kinda terrifies me. And you will see that it's for a good reason. So, Fiddlesticks. So this is the 3.5 version. Surprisingly 3.5 and 6.5 have the same power, so there isn't like much of a difference there. They do have the secondary power, obviously, that's different, that buffs up jump scare, which is pretty cool. I think it's really nice. And what I really like about this adventure is that you get the Coven board, which I think fits fantastically into here, so... And yeah, Nightmares getting shuffled. You get 11 ones, so I think it shuffles like 8 from... Yeah, Glare. I think they draw something from this. Yeah, they draw the 2-2, the gift, which is a little bit annoying, but... You know, that's how it is sometimes. And I play the Hog here. Okay, so... With the wording that was showcased, can you guess how many cards I will terrify at the round start? You can guess like right now. I guess I'll just attack here, but you know, you can start guessing. Let's count them actually. So we got Evelynn. Actually, yeah, let's see. Also, they generate a bunch of units from Nightmares, and that's quite a few of them. And by a few, I mean quite a lot. And that's 12. Never mind, that was 10. Okay, so let's count them together. We have, first of all, the ones that I drew, the cards that I drew, the cards that I generated as well, and a bunch of other cards as well. Also, they're trying to kill my Evelynn, which I don't approve of. I don't like that. I think I just play Steam here, I guess. No, never mind, I play Vora. Just, you know, get extra damage in. And basically now every turn I just get... Yeah, obliterate one at least. So that's fun. That's truly enjoyable. They summon Fiddlesticks, which decreases my board a little bit, but I still can generate a bunch of stats thanks to the level up. So not much harm is done, at least on that front, so that's great. They have a little bit of anti-synergy here, but it's not a big deal. You know, we just keep generating bigger husks, more stuff. I decided to play Warden Spray, although it was kinda unnecessary I think here, but... So now I will get terrified too, because I drew a card and then I generated a fleeting copy, which I personally find a little bit annoying, so... And I kinda I can't really attack into this without the regen, so... I gotta wait with like my attacks. I think I do drag this here, even though it kinda doesn't really matter. Still, there is a bunch of damage, and the buffs are sadly wasted on the Terrify. Yep. So that's fun. Next turn I think I go for the... I don't actually know, I don't actually remember. They have Collector, I am not a huge fan of that, so... I just set up Lethal for the next turn, to be honest, because... I mean, you know, having a 25 elusive is great. I can't really stop that, which is a little annoying, but... I can play another Fading Husk, which is also elusive, which will give me damage. And they summon a bunch of cards, which is fine. I think I level up... No, actually no, never mind. I just attack with these. I'm like considering what attacks I wanna do, because I'm not quite sure what they might have in the deck. So I decide decided to basically full send it. I wasn't like, since this was my first attempt, I wasn't quite sure what I was gonna expect, but they didn't have any more removal, so luckily we got through in the end. And yeah, this was basically the first attempt, and I think I summarized this with like, yeah, this adventure is cool. I feel like the last node is a bit unbalanced, and there are some minor issues with like some of the other nodes balancing, like Survive the Night, for example. But other than that, I enjoyed this adventure pretty nicely. So yeah, a bunch of Demacian stuff, it's fine. And with that, I will be moving to the nightmare version of the adventure, which I will attempt with Aurelion Sol. And we're back. So, this is a 6.5 version of the Ancient Fear. I'm running a pretty standard setup on Aurelion, the one that you run pretty much all the time. Starforge, Spellweavers, Beast Within. Spellweaver is always the best option for Aurelion. And we have Jump Scare and Deadly. So Jump Scare legendary also gives +2/+2 and Fearsome, and we obviously have Deadly, which doubles the stats. And as a reward, 40 Fiddlesticks fragments and a good chunk of EXP, which is something that I really like. So, legendary release, you get Arachnoid Horrors instead of Spiderlings, which is pretty fun, but Fiddlesticks is unchanged, basically. So that's something worth remembering. For this, I'm kinda looking for something that maybe generates me a card. I probably should have picked Sorcery instead, but I should have also maybe picked Slow but Steady here. In the end, I think I pick up Spellburn here. Never mind, I rolled that. And I pick the worst, and I get the worst powers, so I just get Flexible Game Plan so that Fiddlesticks can terrify me again. And yeah, I think this node is basically unchanged, but they have the item that they summon a unit at the game start, so... and I think they have a bunch of extra items on things, so it's not a big deal. Also, remember to stay hydrated, everyone. They drew another Catalyzer. I'm just thinking, okay, what should be my approach here? And I think I find a decent line for early turns. They do get Darkness. I think the Darkness is unpowered, so maybe I should have picked Gangplank here, but I'm seeing the Equinox and I'm like, okay, maybe the RNG can just make this into a faster fight, but nope. We're gonna have to do this the old way. And I think I should have probably also played the 1/1 there, but I'm kinda dumb, so it's okay. Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, I forgot to play that. And yeah, they still deal extra damage due to Deadly. Deadly makes them deal double damage on spells. But other than that, I don't think it's like that big of a deal. The upside is, again, Aurelion has access to some healing early on. And I think I go for healing here rather than going for anything else. Grab the Destroyer. And next turn I play Aurelion after they play everything. And apparently, playing the Darkness counts as playing a card, so it was active, which I didn't know was a thing. Gwen also can heal pretty well and it costs 0, so I, play Gwen, make them commit more to the board. They get more stats, so Aurelion, get the Scourge, and easy. So yeah, I was considering maybe playing something else into this adventure, but I've decided I kinda wanna do a little bit of an easier time. I guess a little bit of an easier run just to get familiar with like how it looks. That's mostly what I tend to do, but now I will probably just, again, with the other adventures that I'm planning to do soon, I'll probably just play something else. Also, I missed damage there. You don't have to point that out, because I pointed it out myself. But yeah, in general, this is mostly just the standard stats increase makes things difficult, which, yeah, that tends to happen. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can grab Tariq here, but like, okay, I get something that will discount my cards, and I get Tariq again. And I kinda didn't really like any of those cards, so I've decided, yeah, I think Tariq is probably the best choice out of all of them. We have Vicious Mockery, which I think just has higher stats because it has no changes. And we have Shadow in the Brush, which instead of +2/+2 gives it +5/+5. Which is pretty interesting. I kinda really... obviously it's just extra stats, but you know, I haven't fought this fight before, so I'm kinda curious to see what's the difference, or like how this one fights. Makes a bunch of scary sounds, I guess, at the start. And they summon Valley of Imitation. It's cheap. What a good fella. Obviously discard the worst card of the deck. Get Moonsilver, which is an amazing pick because I think I can maybe set up a turn 1 kill. I do make a little bit of a misplay here. I should have played the 0 cost before that, but nah, it doesn't really matter. We get the big Tariq. We can Bubble Trouble the biggest unit, which puts Aurelion at 2, and I think that's just straight up lethal with Aurelion. So yeah, I realized that I should have, I kinda misplayed that play, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can be greedy and find something interesting. And yeah, I find another Moonsilver, and this time I don't misplay like a weird fella. Now everything costs 0, we play Aurelion and we just win. I think this was just enough at that point. And yeah, I'm kinda curious what those cards were, but the game won't let me know, so... Also, I think this summons me a card that refills... yeah, it summons me as Cuttlegeist, which is kinda funny. And it's lethal, first turn. What a surprise. What a surprise! Aurelion Sol crushing an adventure. The main issue with bringing Aurelion Sol to this adventure is fighting Fiddle, because that's gonna be painful as all hell, so we'll see how that goes, I guess. So I'm... okay. And we have a new fight, which is the Dread, and it's buffed up. It now also reduces the power by a little bit at the end of the round, so that's pretty interesting. And yeah. We will see how that goes. I haven't really fought this fight, and as you can see, they have a bunch of, let's just say, fearsome units. So I'm guessing they will probably have some sort of way to reduce my stuff. I pick Equinox just to like get rid of some of the higher stats that they may have. They have Threshold, and I'm like, I have this Threads, and it costs 0, so I might as well use it, right? So grab Moonsilver, see what we can do. Probably just, yeah, go Threads. It doesn't really matter what I hit here, I just want the cost reduction and get rid of the Terrify in my hand, so Moonsilver Taric, they all cost 0, which is very cool. Play Taric. Taric is a very nice setup for Aurelion Sol regardless, because, you know, the spell copies as well are pretty amazing. So we get a little bit more value even. And having double attack on the 4/4 was also pretty funny, so... And we get a bunch of 5/5s, which is pretty cool. And obviously getting larger double strike overwhelmers. It was almost lethal, but again, blockers tends to happen sadly sometimes, so... I'm like, okay, this should be a win, I just need to like wait a little while. They have another threshold, it doesn't really matter much right now. I get Sivir, which is a pretty decent pickup right now. I was considering maybe Charger for a second, just to like reduce the champion costs even more, but I don't really need that, so... They draw a bunch. I think I silence the 5/7, yeah. Just so they have a smaller way of blocking, and yeah. More damage reduction, kinda don't care. I do Celestial Blessing, but I kinda realize at that point that it doesn't work with Taric, which I'm pretty sad because I forgot that this interaction doesn't work. Instead I should have probably just put it on Sivir, if I knew, because again Sivir would share the keywords, so that would be that. And yeah. Store time, here I think I pick up Ibex because support, sure, why not. So yeah, start time, Duelist is a decent enough pickup, I don't care about the rest. I was thinking about Gift Giver, but filling my hand with garbage kinda doesn't help, so I'm thinking about maybe cutting, and I do cut White Flame because White Flame sucks and I'd rather have something better in my deck to help me win the upcoming rounds, so that's cool. Cut out Ibex because it's a draw. And yeah, you can see a bunch of good stats here, so... And mostly thanks to the spiders. Which you can see already. Get a stun, sadly 0 cost Bubble Trouble doesn't give you a champion. A travesty, honestly. I was thinking for a second maybe, yeah, I thought, yeah, maybe we can even play this. Why not? It's a generated card, I get a Doom Beast, which is pretty cool. Level up Taric, now I can just challenge a bunch of units, thanks to the power. I definitely challenge Elise and I think they would block, but they don't, which is interesting. I would prefer to have Elise away from the board for now. They do get a stun and I'm like, okay, that's fine, I'll just Vile Feast something to get more blockers. And fun fact, these have strike items. Which I'm like, okay, cool, I guess we can just, you know, just generate more value from this. This is possible. And yeah, just board clear with 2 spells. Cool. And since we did a bunch of garbage, we can play stuff. I'm mostly waiting for them to like fill the board a little bit more, because Aurelion clears, stuff like that. Yeah, especially if they play the Arachnoid horror, so... Get a spell shield, generate another unit, you know how it is. Just get value, that's the plan. Epic Talia there. I don't remember if I play her, I think I do. So pretty simple, no misplays so far. Clear the board. deal with their garbage. Do a scout attack, get glare, glare doesn't matter, and I think, yeah, I don't even play Talia. I don't even need her. And I can generate more stuff. And a bunch of good damage, yeah. So pretty easy fight. It wasn't like that big of a deal. Again, it's Aurelion Sol, like what would I expect it to be, right? I'm considering maybe like grabbing items for Aurelion, but in the end I think I just give Savage Shield to Tariq because I'm like, well, it makes it easier to play. I'm considering Ancient Coin as well, but like I think I can get enough discounts that like that -1 doesn't matter. And even though we don't get any generation, we get unstable inventory, which is funny. So we have Pale Death, which if you kill slays with spell or skill, it deals 5. And we have Survive the Night, the version 2, which deals 20 and rallies. And I think they have like 70 health in this version, which I found pretty interesting. And there is Freefall. I think Freefall is unchanged, but they have better items. So I thought, you know what? I think we can clear this board enough times to just not care about like any possible bounce backs. So Vile Feasts, I think, yeah, I cut one, keep the rest, draw the Ibex. I don't really need to or want to, but happens. Ceiling Steel also pretty bad, so not a huge fan of that. I'm like looking at what I got and I don't really like any of this, so I grab Written in the Stars, I think, because it can get discounted, so that's nice. I play the Sketcher. I do discount the Seal because I kinda don't like it. Get rewarded with Moon Silver, which I'll use to discount Tariq, I think. So pretty easy so far. Aurelion into the hand, that's cool. Tariq doesn't help on blocking, but he's pretty decent on attacking, which I cannot do in this mode. Wow, what a surprise. Luckily I have a bunch of ways to just block with like, yeah, with Celestial Wonder costing 0, or like, yeah, blocking with the barrier and then just not doing anything else. They re-equip the weapon. It's fine. They take more damage, they rally. They have a minion that heals them, which is rude. I Vile Feast just to like generate a bunch of cards, I guess. Vex is cool, I think, so I grab Vex. I also get Eat That Stairs, although it like doesn't really matter, so... And it's another strike item. Wow. The discounts do help. Or rather the discards. So I discard, we trade a little bit. Not a big deal. Play Vex. Play... I was considering maybe playing Aurelion, but it kinda doesn't help me right now, so... I just play Written in the Stars, get more discounts. Play more cards, get the GOAT, that's why it's the GOAT! And, you know, just chill a little bit. They're at 12, if they have like lifesteal I can just stun them or kill their board, so it doesn't really matter. They do draw lifesteal. So I think I do end up playing Aurelion here. Or not, because I have a 1-cost stun. So grab Hekarim, like kinda ignore this. Double stun, still in case they might have had something still block. Again, when you're doing blocks, make sure to like always do the good blocks regardless. They play Soul Gorger. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, that's fine, we can just kill them. Even get a Lulu I don't really need right now, but It's 1 anyway, so I don't even bother attacking here. I think I get another... yeah. Somehow I get another Scuttler and then I refill my mana for no reason. And then they die. What a surprise.
These gems aren't just for show.
So, not a big deal, obviously. Grab Scout. There is the free fall again, I don't really care. Overprepared is decent, but it will terrify me a bit more as we go to Fiddlesticks fight. And I decide to grab Sivir. Sivir is always nice. Get an item for the goat just to have like more cards in my deck. Sickening Plunge does the same thing. And I think Creeping Hatred has the same one as well. But they do have a better... they do have better items on cards, as far as I'm aware. And obviously Terrify plus double stats is a thing that happens. Jumpscare plus Deadly. Jumpscare plus Deadly. Yes, that was the combo I was thinking about. Looks to be a solid turn 1. Probably not a kill, but looks good enough. I lose Tariq. No, it's no longer good enough. I think I do... yeah, I think I do Sketcher with one of the Celestials. Keep the other ones, but again, Charger, pretty decent card. I think I do equip the stuff first, yep. Just get more discounts. Play Sivir for 0. Sivir is being also a pretty decent pickup, in my opinion, for this adventure. Again, large stats, good value, decent item as well. Discount their stuff. And I have, since I have Challenger on everything and I have Quick Attack on everything thanks to Sivir, I just, you know, decide to deal with the Creeping Vine for now. Because it enables their deck quite well, so... I'd rather avoid that. Play Ibex, doesn't really matter. I think I missed like some a little bit of damage, doesn't matter. They play Wraith of Echoes that dies instantly and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can actually just pull the trigger already. Probably should have grabbed Great Beyond from this, but I'm like, okay, maybe Trawler is also not a bad idea. Clear the board, get the Scourge, I think, so... I was thinking about Cosmic Inspiration for a second there, just to like buff up the board a bit. But I'm like, okay, I think it should still be enough. I don't remember what this gives me. I think it gives me an item to my hand? No, I don't remember what that version does. Also, I should have probably played the Trawler instead of the 2/4, but like, doesn't matter at all. They have a bunch of formal invitations. I say I'm not interested and just kill them. So we are moving to Fiddlesticks. This is also basically me doing this attempt first try. Or like this is my first attempt rather, that's what I am supposed to say. Doesn't matter, you'll see how funny in quotation marks the Fiddlesticks fight is, so. I'm considering what I wanna do. I think I end, because like the sensors are garbage and I don't care about the mentor, so I think I end up with this just to generate more stuff in case. Get the chest, get the sigil on the Vile Fist. Incisive Tactician shows me garbage and I don't want to replace any of this. So ever onward it is instead. I may have, maybe I should have left, but I'm like, I'd rather have an extra card I might burn than not. So ever onward it is. I think I just like quickly check my quests. It's strike units without your units dying, whatever. Healer trip. I think I just heal to max from max, so Fiddlesticks time. And yeah. How good is 6.5 star Fiddlesticks? Let's find out. I'm like thinking what is the way I should be playing this attempt. They have 99 health, so I can't really one-shot them. I get a card that generates more cards, and I draw a bunch of cards, and I generate more cards, and that means I'm gonna terrify like 20 on my first turn, which is not good. Luckily I don't burn my Tariq, which doesn't matter because I don't even have a Tariq. Okay, I'm looking at what I wanna burn later down the line. Moonsilver, I'm like, okay, Moonsilver could work. Let's put up the Starry's Camp, so it can absorb the Gloom thing. Moonsilver the Aurelion. Am I gonna get RNG'd? I didn't get RNG'd. Gifts from Beyond. I think I grab Gravitum here, because it shuffles more Gravitons into my deck, and obviously discarding obviously is good in general, so get Sivir out, level her up. They have Reap, double Reap, a little bit annoying, but whatever. It does break Spell Shield, which is a little sad in my opinion. I put Pulverizer on the 1/1 because I know it's gonna be an issue otherwise. And I'm like, okay, Vile Feast will generate more cards into my hand and I don't want this, so... generate Crescendum. I wasn't sure what I wanted and I'm like, okay, I'm 1 mana off. That's kinda sad, not gonna lie. That's a decent chunk of damage on the first turn, and they get Fiddlesticks. They get a big fella. I lose 3 Tariqs. And I lose like 12 cards. I'm like, okay, that's no good. Neverglade, not a huge fan. Play Aurelion, generate a card. I'm like, okay, I don't want Living Legends there, because Living Legends can just generate more cards and I would terrify more and probably just lose to Mill, and that's not a great thing to happen to me. So I'm not greedy, at least not as greedy as I normally am. And I'm looking to set up a little next turn, so play a bunch of cards. I'm thinking maybe I should actually just go for the Vile Feast now. And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe we can work with this. Just generate more stats, generate more units. They have another Reap, so they kill the smaller ones, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do more. And that's correct. They get 4 cards cut. I'm at 17, not a huge fan of this. I draw Bastion, which is amazing. And they get Fiddlesticks, which is also annoying. And I'm like, okay, I think I just have to play to my outs basically here. So get Traveler. From Traveler get the Scourge, because the Scourge is really good. They try to Vengeance my biggest unit. I'm like, okay, whatever, don't care. Play the Scourge. I have Bastion in case they have another removal, which I do. So I Spell Shield. Easy peasy. I guess we're winning this. I generate a bunch of cards into my hand, but like at this point they have no more mana to probably spend, and they are not smart enough to try and outsmart me. And that's still 138 damage. Should I challenge things? I'm like, yeah, I guess I should. Kill Fiddlesticks, kill the 7-5. Get stats, get damage, and win! So, yeah. What are my thoughts on this adventure? 3.5 star, again, a little bit unbalanced. 6.5 star, pretty interesting. Fiddle is terrifying to fight against, especially if you're generating a lot of cards and you don't have a way to shuffle them back in. And a great counter pick against Fiddle is the card that gives you 0 cost shuffle into your deck. Shuffle 4 copies into your deck. I don't remember the name of it. Or in general, just shuffling stuff into your deck is a really good counter. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. This has been a very fun run. I really enjoyed it, and I see you around. Take care.